welcome to another edition of Corner to Corner Wrestling Radio, the C2C Radio Show.com. Special is on the air. It's Sunday night, it's 8:30, and yes, indeed, we are back, and we are live. Going to be joined tonight by two outstanding guests, one of which, Joseph Edwards, the creator of the hot new collectible card game, Indy Supercard. We're going to talk to him about his creation, how it came to pass, and what exactly has been happening with it since he started this journey. What's the challenge of making an actual brand new card game? As you can hear in the background, there's a young feline running around, smacking around a cat ball here. And, of course, Rob will be joining me here shortly. He'll be picking up the line here in just a moment. But I hope everybody had a great weekend, and I hope you're enjoying your Memorial Day holiday. It's been an interesting couple of days, not just in the mainstream professional wrestling world like AEW or WWE, but overall, because we've actually had some serious challenges going on. There's been some issues where there's the line it's ringing through. Wow, that's actually kind of an obnoxious noise.
Hello.
There he is. We've got Rob joining us. What's up, buddy?
How are you?
I am outstanding. We are on the air. We have already gone live. Yeah, I was kind of figuring. I was like, okay, well, I said some. Is he ready? Okay, cool. And I'm looking. I'm like, all right, well, I'll just do what I normally do and just add him. get him ready when he's ready. So, not a big deal. So what I was talking about is, of course, we've got Joseph Edwards coming on to talk about Indy Supercard. We're excited to talk to him about that. Our first guest in a while. We don't really do a whole ton of interviews here on C2C, so this will be an interesting time. And then, of course, we also have Mad Maxx Morrison joining us. Been a little while since we talked to the Mad One himself. Should be interesting to sit down and talk with him about how he's been keeping busy with COVID-19.
Oh, yeah. I saw him on the interwebs earlier today. So he's getting creative. So it'll be interesting to meet up with him.
Yeah, he is. He's been doing this streaming called Social Disturbancing. I got to ask him about that. But before we get to our guests, I wanted to take a couple minutes here and just talk briefly about just the happenings of the week. We found out midway through the week that Shad Gaspard passed away after heroically rescuing his son from some pretty horrible undertow at, I believe it's Venice Beach, where he was. The story goes like this. His son and he were with a group of people. The waves were pretty heavy. They crashed down and pulled some of them under. Shad was able to get his son above water. Lifeguards got to him and were able to make the save, as he basically states, hey, save my son. Take my son first.
Right, take my son first.
They get his son. They turn to come back to him. They see him. They see a wave crash down over him, and that was the last time they saw him. Unfortunately, as the news would continue, we did find out that his body did wash up on the shore a few days later. And, the measure of a person is typically by their character. And if that's the case, then Shad Gaspard was the epitome of what it meant to be a good father and a hero.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad when things like that happen. It's unexpected, the dangers of the ocean, the dangers of the, Mother Nature, shall we say.
Yeah.
But it shows you the true character of somebody that in the time of trouble, when it's save yourself or save someone else, he picked save my son.
Mm-hmm.
And which hopefully all fathers, parents always want to save their kids and do what they can. And so it's sad that it happened, but just the overwhelming outpouring of support from the wrestling community and all around doesn't, and it's times like this that it makes me feel a little bit good to be a wrestling fan, because of the fact that in times like this, wrestling promotions can put their things aside and say, you know what, we all come together to help this help this family, and today we're all one family and not, oh, this is my promotion, this is your promotion, we can't talk about it.
Yeah, the things that stood out to me the most, outside of the obvious story, was WWE, AEW, all wrestlers' promotions seriously coming together to celebrate his life and also to financially contribute to help to pay for not just his memorial, but to support the family. Tony Khan, Chris Jericho, Rusev, John Cena, mysteriously, I'll get to that in a second. Supposedly John Cena did. But there's tons of different wrestling names and just other great wrestling fans that have donated to the GoFundMe account that was started for the Gaspard family. That account, that GoFundMe campaign, has reached over $140,000 in the span of about 4 days.
That's awesome.
40,000 of it came from a contribution that simply read C2C RIP. Now, a lot of people have indicated they feel like this was John Cena who made this contribution. Cena, of course, is not the kind of guy that's going to go out there and go, oh yeah, that's what I did. But there have been images floating around on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram where there was a scene from John Cena and Crime Time basically vandalizing JBL's big limousine and spray painting it. And one of the things that was spray painted on it was C2C, which was Crime Time C Nation for the brief time that they were teamed together. So it's highly plausible.
Well, and you got to think, he's not one to be like, oh, look at me,
Exactly.
And you hear that a lot about the wrestling business and different guys, especially the big ones, like, I'm reading books, like I've read books on different wrestlers of the past and how some wrestlers on TV were this way and all this, but then it's like, and you would think they hated each other, but, when things got tough, here, do this,
Yeah.
And so, for everybody to come together, and especially you think of like a lot of these wrestlers in these times, like look at like Rusev.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have any paychecks coming in right now. But in the time, he's like, you know what, I'm still gonna do my part and donate. Obviously John Cena. Come on, the man can wipe his butt with $100 bills.
Probably.
As long as you sign the non-disclosure agreement. But, and that's the thing, like in times like this, it's just good to see how the wrestling community is like, you know what, we're not going to let one of our own, fall on hard times. And so.
Yeah, you hear a lot of talk about wrestling being a brotherhood and a family, and one of the truest representations of that came from what we've seen with Shad. And then, unfortunately, not long after we find out about Shad Gaspard, we find out about the passing of a very young Japanese sensation, Hana Kimura, who was featured on a Netflix reality show called Terrace House. And apparently, there was some conflict between Hana and one of the other castmates about her wrestling gear and how it had been unfortunately ruined in the wash. Well, that scene drew, apparently social media had attacked her and really done some pretty awful things as far as what they said to her. And unfortunately, she ended up, from reports right now, we're seeing that she quite possibly took her own life, which is just absolutely horrible. It's interesting to see the reaction from both sides of the mainstream coin, but also all of the performers on Facebook, Twitter, and every place in between, because there's been a lot of focus to a lot of those things. And right now the focal point is, hey, quite frankly, don't be a dick. Don't be a douche to each other.
We talk about how social media can be the greatest marketing tool out there for anybody. If for whatever you're trying to do, social media can be the best social, tool. Or as you open is you open your life up to other people, and you open that door of, all right, well, I'm going to let total strangers look at me and look at my pictures and look at this and comment. Then you have the keyboard warriors, the one at home, the ones whose life isn't any better, but it's easier for them to point a finger at somebody else than looking themselves in the mirror. And,
Right.
They say, because, we see it all the time. People feel like they can say what they want on social media without little or no recourse. And unfortunately, it cost a young wrestler her life because of that. Because in the short time she was on social media, she just couldn't take it, And unfortunately, you also see that there's a lot of people that get on social media because it's the cool thing to do and aren't ready mentally. And I'm not saying she wasn't. I'm just saying some people they're not mentally ready to be the bombardment of the world. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, it's social media is already kind of an odd place for anyone that's not above the age of 18, because there's just so much ridiculous behavior out there. But to then be a celebrity and have the light shine on your every single move, not just as a wrestler, but then for Kimura as a reality star, it's even worse.
Yeah, I mean, you look at these people, you pick up any magazine and you see, oh, look, there's such and such movie star coming out of this local supermarket. Oh, wow, she looks like she's this or that. Well, I mean, she went to the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
How many normal people get all dolled up to go to the grocery store?
Right.
There's probably 2,000 people that go through Walmart a day that shouldn't probably come out in whatever they're wearing, but they do.
Right.
But it's just, and I was just thinking about it, like in 40 years from now, the Urban Dictionary is going to define social media as a giant waste of time.
Yeah.
It's just when you delve down to it, it's like, it's like you scroll through everything, and it's good to reach out to those people that you can't see every day.
Mm-hmm.
Those family members and those kind of things. But then as you open it up to more and more, I mean, I've seen some of the WWE wrestlers, the main roster wrestlers and famous like Ric Flair and those guys, they post something and it's people just go off.
Yeah.
You're horrible. Why should you? It's like, he was just posting a picture of his robe, like
right. And it's spread so far past that. And now everyone is, quote unquote, chiming in with their 2 cents. They've got, oh, well, you shouldn't do this. You should do that. You should say, like, who are you people? Like, really? You're going to tell these guys what to do? You haven't taken a bump in your life outside of the car accident you had because you can't drive worth a damn. But you're going to tell these guys, stop doing super kicks. Or, like, with Rusev, you brought him up. He's a great point because people hate Lana so much. And I get it. Her character is annoying. But if you're dumb enough to think that CJ Perry and Lana are the same person, then, you probably shouldn't be watching. But these are also the same kind of people that probably felt like 24 was a true story. And Jack Bauer was really going to kill Trump. You know what I mean? Like, guys, we live in a crazy world as it is. Maybe not be so much of a douche.
Well, and that's the problem with social media. That's one of the biggest problems with social media because it blurs the line between reality for some people, and it blurs the line of how close do I really know this person.
Yep, it certainly does.
Because these famous people let you into their everyday life, and so people think, oh wow, we have this connection, we're special, we're friends,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just a different mindset, you know what I mean? Like somebody said, like, just be good to each other, and in this time when so many people are relying on the internet and social media and everything to get the word out and to be connecting with people, unfortunately you're going to have more people take this time to be like, ha ha ha,
Yeah, I mean, we live in a world right now where it's so important to remember that we're not alone, and everything we do and say, yeah, has a consequence. You know, there's
It's
a consequence.
All good.
Yeah, well, it's hard to make words go. Okay, the English language is a mystery to me. Just ask the folks in China.
Ask to most people.
That's actually really true. But hey, I want to transition us from kind of the downer, but it was the big news of the week outside of Double or Nothing. We'll talk about Double or Nothing a little bit later tonight. We have two very exciting guests that's going to join us here. We're going to bring on the first one here right now. I'm excited to bring this guy on. I've seen a lot of stuff from him and from Maxx Morrison, actually, talking about Indy Supercard, and Joseph Edwards is going to join us here in just a moment. We're ringing him up now. All right. Well, maybe not. He's like,
wrong.
I'm hanging up. No,
I'm tired of listening to you all.
Let's see here. So anyway, we're gonna keep trying to get Mr. There he is. He is joining us. He's hooked up. We've got Mr. Joseph Edwards from Indy Supercard. Joseph, welcome to Corner to Corner.
Hey, what's going on?
How are you?
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Man, it's been a great weekend. We me and a good friend of mine, Ref JD Cormier, did some flagging for an awesome motocross event. So I'm a little sunburnt, but other than that, doing well. How you guys doing?
You know what?
Great. We're doing great.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good myself. I got to trim some branches. I got to stand outside in the sun on Saturday and actually feel like a regular day, like normal stuff, instead of having to worry about wearing a mask.
Oh, that's nice and fun.
I'm watching cars go around in circles, so I'm good.
Oh, that's awesome. Is it all left turns, or are we at Watkins Glen this week?
They're at Charlotte.
Oh, all right, cool, excellent.
High banked left turns.
Yeah, there you go.
So, first off, I keep meaning to ask you this, and I should have just messaged it to you. Do you go by Joe or Joseph? Or Joey?
Usually Joe, but when people it makes me feel fancy when people say Joseph, so I don't stop them.
Ah, okay, Sir Joseph.
Oh, whoa, I get a sir now? All right,
Sir
cool.
Joseph.
I'll wear my suit of armor.
Somebody call the Queen. He's been knighted.
Protector of the realm, Sir Joseph. So hey, let's talk to you about Indy Supercard. You know, yeah, I know. I made it weird. I had to keep it pushing. So, how did you come up with Indy Supercard? Where did that even come from for you?
To be completely honest, we started a really awesome relationship with that banner guy who did a lot of flyers and promotional materials for the last few shows we ran. Mm-hmm. And he just sent me a message that said, "Hey, you guys ever thought about doing trading cards?" And I was never really into like collecting basketball cards. I did have some of the old like Fleer Ultra X-Men cards back in the early 90s. Those were awesome. Mm-hmm. But I did play like Magic the Gathering. I played Pokemon. I had a lot of friends who played Yu-Gi-Oh! I never dipped my toe in that pool just because I felt like it was a ripoff of the other two. It kind of stemmed from the fact that like everybody in the wrestling business is an individual. They have their own move sets. They have their own style. So I don't really see a difference except for that you can actually go and meet the people on these cards. You can't go and meet like Charizard or a giant wizard or something.
Well, you can meet them. They're just not real.
Yeah, I guess. I just see a pretty convincing suit.
The cosplay.
There are people that say they've seen them. So
right.
But yeah, it was honestly, and it turns into something that everybody can benefit from. You know what I mean? We're making sure that all the wrestlers get a stack of their cards to actually sell at their merch tables and pass along. We don't ever advertise or sell cards individually. Mm-hmm. So the only place that you can guarantee you're going to get one is if you get in touch with that wrestler. So that's really the way that we want to portray it the most is like, this isn't about us. It's about you guys. You guys are wrestling, and we want to bring you guys home with the fans at the end of the night in something more than just like an 8x10 or a poster or a signature on a ticket. You know, this is something you can actually pull out at the dinner table, lunch, at school, recess, whatever, and actually play a game with.
So you put together an awesome partnership between fan and performer, but how did you research? What kind of steps did you take to prepare the actual gameplay?
In all honesty, it started. We had the first 20 cards or so done within about 6 hours of the idea starting. So we were playtesting within 24 hours of coming up with the idea, and we have probably 30 playtesters now who have put, I would say, close to 1,000 games in.
Oh wow!
And we just kind of sat down and thought of some cool stuff that would work and make it sound wrestling-y.
So you have an awesome collection on your roster already, and you were kind enough to give us kind of a sneak peek at some of the inner workings of what you do. Did you go to just different shows and start asking the guys that you met, or because I know that you're promoting as well, correct?
Oh yes, yeah. We, me and my partners also run Ace Wrestling out of Rayford, North Carolina.
Okay.
And we also do work for, you know, countless other promotions. I'm one of those people where if I have something cool, I'm going to bring it everywhere I go. Right. So we started doing a lot of work with video and production, stuff that the wrestlers can't do because they're busy wrestling. Right. And the promoters can't necessarily either afford to do or they don't have the time to do. So we kind of try to step into those areas and kind of fill those slots. Mm-hmm. So we got to meet a lot of really cool people doing that. We actually ended up kind of almost backstage-ish at WrestleCade this past year. It's just led us to so many cool opportunities. So it's really just been a lot of saying hi to people more than anything.
Well, and that's the coolest part about professional wrestling is it's ultimately a question of networking. How well do you make friends?
Yeah. Yeah, I was always taught to always build people up and never tear them down. So if you do see something that you don't like concerning somebody, help them make it better. That's always what I've said.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of learned that philosophy. Like, don't say something unless you have an option or a suggestion and are willing to help, you know?
Yeah, otherwise you're not. Otherwise, it doesn't do anything. All you're doing is talking. And I don't know. I like to do cool stuff for people.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you.
No.
How many wrestlers do you have currently in the game?
Wrestlers alone, actually, let me see if I can pull up an exact number for you real quick. Wrestlers, we are currently sitting at 122, it looks like.
Sweet.
And then with all the managers and the managers, the refs, all that good stuff, we're hitting 165 right now. I didn't do it, I promise.
That was me. Yeah, so
sometimes
the wonders of live radio.
Will get kicked out of the Starbucks he's trying to bum their Wi-Fi on.
So I'm getting a cat and maneuvering him out of the room, and I have a shelf of ridiculous amounts of collectibles. It's all my Hasbros and Mattels, all the retro ones. I'm a big Hasbro fanatic. And they all went tumbling down in an avalanche of plastic. Yep.
Take a bump.
Oh, they all did. Right on my foot. Right on my foot. Some of them flat-backed it, though. Some of them may not recover. That's not good. Oh, well.
Oh, no.
But with all the wrestlers and all the people in the game, like, how has been, like, are you finding more and more promotions are like, hey, I heard you're doing this. Hook us up.
Oh, yeah, honestly, and we offer this deal to pretty much any promotion is get a list of your talent together, see if they want to be involved. If they give the go-ahead, we do it's like a package set. We just did the one for Boot and Heel, which has 20 awesome cards in it. We're actually throwing an extra card in it because we like them so much. So that's really it. We want to bring in promotions because the more places that can benefit from this, the better. It's about everybody having a little bit more money and everybody having something fun to hang out with and, do with wrestling after the show's over.
Yeah. And it's a way to keep the crowd interested because, as you said, if you have a card of this wrestler, then it makes you connected to that wrestler and you're going to want to see that wrestler again. And you're going to want to see that promotion again,
Oh, yeah. And it also turns into we have like one special booster pack, which we use it to. That's essentially our promotion tool. Whenever people buy those, it's 10 random cards from whatever we have in the house. You know what I mean? Anything that we might have had like an extra 1 or 2 of, and it goes out to the furthest reaches that this game is hitting right now. So that say somebody in the middle of Canada opens up a booster pack and goes, "Ooh, I don't know who Maxx Morrison is. Let me hit the YouTube button and see what comes up."
Yeah. Well, and that's the coolest
part.
I know
who he is.
Yeah, oh, yeah. We know Max very well.
Well, yeah, of course.
Maybe not that well, but pretty well. He would probably want to tell us otherwise. With your game, with the way you put this together, the gearing of it towards partnership of fan and performer, and really making sure that they could identify. How did you go about the imagery that you have on the cards? Was this something where you went to each wrestler and said, "Hey, do you have an 8x10 that you want us to use? Do you want us to scour?" Like, how did you do that?
Oh man, that's really cool that you just gave me like a really easy way to put over a lot of people that have really helped us out. But what I usually do is I ask the wrestlers to send us your favorite shots from, either if you have an 8x10 shot, if you have something that you're using as a live action shot that you really enjoy. Basically just make sure you're not going to get me in trouble by using the image, and that's all I ask. And if you see something that is uncredited, where somebody might have chopped the watermark off and I didn't see that it was done by a specific photographer, just get in touch with me. The last thing we want to do is leave somebody out that can benefit from this. But we were able to partner with Robert Holt from Fisticuffs Photography and Kerry Craven from KC Creations, who do a lot of photography for wrestling everywhere. So they did provide a lot of really awesome shots to us. Oh, yeah, he does amazing work, too. And you're going to see also on a lot of these cards, pay attention to the ones that say photo by Kerry Craven on the bottom. She is amazing, up and coming, taking some really awesome shots, knows exactly where to be and exactly when to hit that button. She nails it. So those two folks have been unbelievably kind to us. I literally got a message that said, make sure I have one of every card and we're good.
I mean, that seems like the ultimate way of saying, hey, I want to help you, but hook me up with a collection. Because, I mean, what a cool way. What a cool way to have something new. I mean, we talk about our favorite games here all the time, and two of the ones that we played tremendously through like the Attitude Era and after was WCW Nitro and Raw Deal. Those were, by Comic Images and Wizards of the Coast, great ways to connect with the mainstream, but it always left you wanting something more. And what better way to connect than to provide something similar in the way of indie wrestling, which is amazing.
And it's really funny. I just found out about Raw Deal but maybe 6 hours ago on a Reddit post. Apparently, somebody had digitized all the cards and something and stuff and made like a little playable version of it online. And I was like, oh man, that's really cool. All right, that says that I'm at least working in the right vein here.
Wait, what? There's a playable version of Raw Deal online? Oh.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find the post I saw on Reddit. I'll link it to you later on.
That's cool.
It was really cool.
So, and that was what came to mind when I first started seeing your information and I started seeing Supercard out there. Because, I mean, Rob and Brian's not here with us this evening, but Rob would tell you we play every wrestling game we get our hands on. Champions of the Galaxy by Phil Singer Games. Rampage Wrestling by Hafner Games, which came out in the 90s. There's tons of different hero clicks now. There's, of course, the video games. So when I look at the different layout that you have, did you have anything that kind of stood out to you as we want our cards to look like we want like Pokemon fans to be kind of draw a parallel, or we want, did you have any kind of concept in mind at first?
There was definitely I wanted to have a strong callback to like your Magic the Gathering and Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, things like that, and I wanted to make sure that everything was uniform because I remember that being one of the things that I really enjoyed about the cards when I was a kid that I played with, is that you could tell that they all fit in the same set. The only real defining factor was either the series mark or the fact that it'll say like, 6th edition or whatever on the bottom of it. And I really like the fact that it was universally playable across all sets, which is something I wanted to really make sure that we maintained.
And it certainly seems like it's maintained playability for each set that you have. I mean, I'm looking at kind of your checklist, which, by the way, is laid out really well. Your boot and heel series, the Ace series. I see you got Casey Dillon on here, which is great.
Oh, yeah.
She is awesome. She is actually from our neck of the woods. Damian Wayne, another great pickup. Logan Creed, who's really come into his own the past few years. Of course, White Mike and Timmy Luretin. I mean, how can you not have the gymnastics?
What?
Yes.
Yeah, they are two of my favorite human beings on the earth, for sure.
They're hilarious. I don't know how they do what they do and not bust up everybody in the ring while they're doing their thing. Like, we've watched them multiple times where they were just doing what they do, and people, of course, in the audience, they were laughing their heads off. But it was not just that; it was the people in, basically, it was the people in the ring trying not to laugh their heads off. And I don't know how they end up holding it together.
And I'll be honest with you, I really feel like that is definitely a huge part of their allure, is the fact that even if you are in the backstage area of a wrestling show that they're at, no matter what, it's always a good time. They're just generally fun-loving and positive people that I've never heard a cross word. Let's put it that way.
Well, and I will say that they're some of those. As long as you've been in the wrestling business and you meet the different wrestlers, you know that there's some that are great at knowing people, but then there's some that just take it to a whole nother level of, wait a minute, they make you feel like we just left and you haven't, could have never seen them before in your life, but they're like, hey, what are you doing? And they just make you feel like, all right, and so one thing I want to put out, I think it'd be cool, is if once this whole crisis is over and we get the triple threat together again, because we did this with Tom Filsinger, as we played his game actually on the air with him. And it'd be cool to get you on, and then as the three of us are playing your game, or the two of us are playing the game, and you kind of coach us through it.
Oh, that'd be awesome. I would love to. I'll definitely bring Tyler in for that one. He did all of our rule set and things like that, so there might be a place or two where I might lose it, but I know he's always got that stuff on lock. I've been sitting with my face buried in a computer screen for the last 3 weeks while he makes magic, so I will give him all the credit in the world there.
Well, and it takes a lot of time to get yourself even ready to print even a test set. How much time did it take you just to get the test set done?
Because we started this when the whole coronavirus thing, immediately when that hit, it was around March. March maybe 5th or 6th that we actually had the idea to do this.
Oh, wow.
And then, we started taking pre-orders, not expecting that coronavirus was going to do this to the world. So we actually got a bunch of test decks printed out fairly quickly. We had the first 20 cards, like I said, done in about 6 hours. And over the course of the next 2 weeks after that, we had maybe 5 or 6 edits. Then we got the test decks printed out. I will say there are a couple things on the test decks that have changed, but we got those sent out to everyone that pre-ordered. I want to say maybe 3 weeks ago. So we went from idea to print in about maybe 6 weeks, 7 weeks.
Wow. That's almost unheard of, especially for
a huge
card
turnaround.
Game. Yeah.
I will say that is 100% because of the people that I have working behind me. They literally would sit and play this game for 5 or 6 hours a night just to make sure that there was nothing that was going to come up that would put us in a position that something felt broken. We had one thing that we ended up changing on every card. but that didn't affect any of the actual printing. So it was we dodged a bullet. But other than that, it has been unbelievably smooth. I think we have maybe 7 or 8 people that are working on this on a constant basis. So it's all because of them that we've had this kind of turnaround.
Have any game companies reached out to you in an attempt to either support and offer something or to shut you down?
No, honestly. We've been kind of playing this more to the wrestling crowd first rather than the gaming crowd right now, because my real goal right now is to get these boxes of cards to these wrestlers so they can start selling them and start making up a little bit of the lost money from the bookings that haven't been happening.
Right.
So right now,
That's
that is
awesome.
my number one focus. The rest of this stuff can wait until we're allowed to be people again.
Right. So,
Well, and I think the thing that just keeps hitting me is the awesome thing about the game is like the way to build the decks. Like most games you go and you buy, you get a deck. You know, like, all right, here are my players, you know. But this actually instills, like, you know what, the coolness of, hey, you know what, the Gymnasties are a tag team from here, but then you can grab a tag team from here, and you know, and it's just that's the coolest part. It's not a so we call it brand loyal game, you know what I mean? And it puts the focus on the talent, and that's really cool.
Thanks, man. Honestly, I like that one day I hope that a promoter can reach in their back pocket and hand their announcer a stack of cards. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
here's,
to give out
here's
to fans
everyone
at the
that's on the
ringside.
show.
Yep.
No. That'll have everyone's information on it for the shows.
I got
They'll
you.
have-
That's ingenious.
Yep, it's got height,
My wheels are
where you're
thinking.
from.
I can think of a couple of announcers that would love to see this.
And it's quick, it's easy, you can put it in your pocket, no sweat, no nothing.
Right.
And it's that was honestly something that I thought of early on, that I was like, oh man, I really can't wait to do that when we're allowed to run wrestling shows again. That's gonna make people feel so weird, but it's gonna be so convenient.
So,
And I could see your heel wrestler come out with his card, and the announcer gets something wrong, and the heel just hands
that'd be
the
great.
announcer the card, going, "Get it right."
or have
that's
somebody
fantastic.
have somebody that feels like their hit points are way too low on the card. What do you
Oh,
mean? I've
yeah.
only got 53. Are you kidding me? You know, that'd be great.
You see
I will
Mad
say-
Max is like, "This is gonna be worth a lot of points." Bam.
That, I will say, this is a huge, huge testament to the wrestling community. No one has given me a single complaint. Everybody has completely understood exactly where we're at, because what I try to do is if somebody comes in with a little bit of a low HP, those moves better be banging.
Right.
Because I don't ever want somebody to feel like, well, you made my card unplayable. Why would you do that? Everything's
good
got to
point.
have a use.
How do you balance that? Because I'm sure, I mean, with the boys that you know, that you book all the time and all of that, and you work with, I'm sure they're like, really, you better make sure X, Y, and Z is done.
No, honestly, everybody has been so unbelievably cool. It's, you know what I mean? Everybody's got a purpose. I mean, we even have a jobber card in there right now, which I have to shout out. Our one of our ring crew, Sonny, is the actual picture on the jobber card. So shout out to him for taking the punch on that one. But it's actually a really good card. It lets you switch out for another wrestler down the line. It only has like 15 HP, so he can get stomped immediately. But you can still win matches with it. It's got different abilities that'll allow you to cancel pins or cancel special moves, things like that. So that 15 HP could last you if you play it right.
Well, and then the other thing that I'm seeing here is also some of the gimmicks as far as tables, ladders, chairs, clear the front row. I mean, I'm looking at how this is laid out, and when you're going through and changing up a match type, you actually could do this in the middle of the match, right? You're putting this out there, say halfway through. You could throw chairs in the mix and completely mix it up.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Basically, what you do is on the beginning of your turn, You start by drawing your cards, discarding your cards, whatever you got to do. I know it's more defined clearly in the rules.
Right,
There's a few different ways that you can go about it. But then you have the ability to play a card. You can play a backstage card, which will be your announcers, your commentators, your sponsors, which I thought it was really cool. I like throwing sponsors onto cards just because it's something special for them. We'll get one made.
It's a good way to get somebody to pay for the deck.
Yeah, there you go. Right? I didn't even think about that. We got one coming for you. Don't worry. We got one coming for the podcast.
Hey, let's hear it for that. We are not above shameless plugs, sir.
That's the best part of this. I get to shamelessly plug everybody who's awesome. But yeah, in terms of how you play the weapons, you can throw those down instead of playing a manager or a backstage card or one of the other card types. You could throw down a weapon, and for that turn, you get the bonus on the bottom of that weapon. So there are a few that do different things. The tables actually stick around, but for the most part, they are all single use.
So I'm looking at the table layout, and I'm looking through it. And again, folks, if you're just joining us, we're talking with Joe Edwards from Indy Supercard, and we're looking over and talking about Indy Supercard and how it came to be, some of the nuances. And I'm kind of looking at the table layout. I'm in the rules right now, and I'm looking at the table layout. It really reminds me of how, just like you described, it does have some similarity to Magic in how it's laid out.
Oh yeah, I kind of operated under the guise of if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
You'll notice that there are a lot of trends between all of your major trading card games in terms of ability canceling, using instants, there's certain things that you really don't have a trading card game unless you can do certain things. And, of course, damage stacking, you know what I mean, recovery, things like that. You got to have them included somehow.
Secret ability.
Yeah.
And what we're going to do now is we're actually going to bring in one of the spotlighted performers with your game, and that's going to be Maxx Morrison. He's going to hang out with us as well to kind of talk about just his experience with the game, how you guys got connected up. And we're going to just kind of go from there. Again, Joe, I definitely appreciate all of your time. And, of course, anytime you want to plug anything else, you let us know, and we'll be happy to throw those plugs out there. We're really good at that.
Hey, thanks. I really appreciate it. That's awesome.
Yeah, what can we do, right? We're in the middle of this crazy worldwide pandemic, which has just crapped out like everything we enjoy. We can't go see wrestling shows. We have to watch empty arena shows, which I'm just not a big fan of. And then, of course, we try to connect with our favorites, and they're all doing the same thing we're doing. They're all sitting around, growing their hair out, growing their beards out. It's a crazy, crazy time. Looks like I'm trying to get Max added here. It's going to take just a second.
Oh, yeah, no sweat.
Let's try this one more time. The wonders of live audio.
Oh, yeah. You never know how it goes.
Well, we prefer to do it live rather than just a tape and all that stuff. It's more fun.
Absolutely.
You never know how it's going to go.
Exactly. And there he is. We're joined by the Mad One himself, the headbanger himself. I always try to make something else up for Max because, I feel like the Mad One just sounds a little weird. Maxx Morrison is joining us here on Corner to Corner. How you doing, Max? Good to see you.
Jeez, what's going on, guys? It feels like I ain't seen you in, God, I don't know. How many empty beers do I have sitting in front of me? I don't even know. God.
We haven't seen you since mid-October at Dinwiddie. First and foremost, before we kind of talk to you about how you came about with the game, how have you been, man?
Dude, it's been a roller coaster, man. Because it's been a while. Because I've had some up and downs, or at least recently.
Yeah.
Well, you said what? October?
Mid-October, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I know. As far as like wrestling goes, I'm still the Eclipse Legacy Champion from Altoona, Pennsylvania, and I've had that. I'll have that a year in July. What else I do? My movie comes out next month or July.
Hollywood Maxx Morrison.
I spent a weekend at WWE in the middle of at the beginning of March, and that was fun.
We saw you at the Raw before Mania in DC. You were making a beeline. By the way, the sharpest dressed I've ever seen you.
Dude, all black everything. If you didn't notice, man, that tie was paisley.
Are you kidding? It was a blur as you ran past to get to the locker room.
What it was, dog. I had to dress to impress, man. I was trying to get a job, son.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. So we've got, of course, got you in with Joe Edwards, creator of Indy Supercard. He's been telling us a lot about the way this game came about. If you could, Joe and Max, how did you guys hook up? How did you guys first meet and get together on working on this project?
Oh man, it was just a hello message. I think that was really what it was.
Yeah, I think I could tell this story pretty well.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, so I woke up one morning, like hungover before I had to go to work, and I saw a message from. I actually have his card in my hand. I have to find it, but this one jabroni, Cade Seidel, and he was like, "Yo, if anybody wants to be in this card game, give me a holler." So of course, you know me, I'm never going to pass up an opportunity.
Right.
And I gave this jabroni a holler to see what it was all about, and then he told me what's up, and then I gave Joe a call and was like, "Hey, so tell me more." And I'd love to be involved because this sounds like an incredible opportunity.
You know what's really funny about that? I have two comments to make. He is currently standing behind me, and he said very loudly, "It's Seidel." And he also said, "If you keep saying jabroni, you're gonna have to come fight him soon."
Well, I'll fight him any day of the week under any circumstance because I ain't scared of a guy in a mask.
He didn't say any of that stuff, but I might just want to see that match real bad.
Oh, I'm down. But as far as his name goes, tomato, whatever. It's
exactly.
And at this point, Max has got a lot of bent up wrestling that needs to come out. So fear the man that gets.
I can't wait to help you get an outlet for that, man. I cannot wait to help out with that,
dude. Luckily for me, I've been hanging out in Riot City for the last 2-3 weeks, and we've got back to wrestling, and we're filming matches for YouTube. I just did one for Grimm's Toy Show.
Oh, awesome!
And hopefully that should be showing soon. Then I did one for ACW, and that one's going to be super enjoyable because we picked up on that whole cinematic match deal.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that one. I saw it. It's not done yet, but I've seen the preview. It's fun, dude. People are really going to enjoy that.
So, that's actually a great thing that you bring up. What do you guys think about this cinematic wrestling and how it's had an impact on the industry now?
I know. I enjoy it. I think it's fun. Well, you guys know me. I'm an entertainment guy. Whatever's going to go out there and give people something to latch onto and kind of drive their focus on. I'm all for all day. Because I know, for say when they did that what was it, that Boneyard match at WrestleMania this year.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was incredible because it took Taker, because we all know that he's getting towards the end of his career. He's up in his twilight, and rather than expose him, they shined him up and polished him up really good and gave him a really good forum to actually get the character over, because they were able to actually tap into the story of the Undertaker and play into all the supernatural forces and things of that nature and run through everything in a believable fashion, because it was like running a movie. Mm-hmm. And he's one of those characters where you can do that with, and it pays off because he is practically like a movie character. So stuff like that, it's been a lot of fun. It's really changed the game. It's given everybody this newfound creativity to be able to still pump out content and keep this outlet going while everything's the actual shows are shut down. So I mean, it's opening new doors to things we ain't seen before, or actually we've seen it. What was that? Piper and Goldust? What was that? WrestleMania 12, 13? Yeah, that backlot brawl, stuff like that.
Right.
Now we're doing it on a bigger scale,
and people are paying more attention to it. The only careaway that I had for the Money in the Bank was I wish they did more damage to the building. Because that they're moving, and it's come on.
that was a fun match to watch too. Like yeah, that was just way too fun.
I wanted to see somebody go through Vince's desk.
That to me was like it was campy enough to be like the Naked Gun of professional wrestling matches.
Yes.
But
dude, seriously, if we had like like an actual Naked Gun. Oh, here, by the way, here's that jabroni right here.
Aha, very nice.
And yeah, jabroni. Anyway, you can go ahead and start a counter because I'm gonna be saying that a lot every time his name comes up because I want him to call me out.
It's a great word. I'm not gonna lie.
He wants me to call him out.
It's going to be the Maxx Morrison drinking game. Every time he says jabroni, take a shot.
Well, at least a sip of beer, dude. Otherwise, you're gonna fall down too quick.
Oh, okay. It's getting serious in here.
We're trying to keep this show rolling, Daddy.
We're just getting started.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, Max, you got hooked up with Indy Supercard. You got an opportunity to market yourself in a completely new revenue way. How does that impact you as far as merch sales? Because I know you are one of the guys at UCW that's very much on top of your merch game. You got your shirts, you got your 8x10s, and you're in tune with it. So how does this help you?
I don't know yet. Like, I'm still trying to figure out how I can really get this one figured out because I know I have like a couple ideas, but I really want to figure out how I want to really get it rolling because one of the things I've started doing in the last couple of weeks is I completely revamped my website, by the way, www.madmaxmorrison.com, DDXX.
Who didn't see that coming?
We'll be linking that on the site. Don't you worry, sir.
Not a problem. Appreciate you. Love you. You're sweet. So, yeah,
He's been told that by many a man.
I bet.
Whoa.
They love you at the Bear Bars.
Oh, jeez. See, here we go.
So what I've done is I revamped my website. I got it up, and then I figured out I built a brand new like merch store, and then I tapped into some new stuff. So right now I've got COVID masks. I've got like the full like the little cloth that goes from like your nose to your neck. I got a bunch of those. I got some new hoodies. I got some drawstring tote bags. I'm toying around with some ideas. So I'm just kind of playing with some stuff. I've got some new marketing material coming. But as far as these cards, I'm still going to do it really cool because I ever since I was a little kid, man, I was a trading card collector growing up. I used to play games like this, like growing up, man. I think I was like, I don't know, probably like 13, 14 years old, and I stumbled across a game like this because this was like right before Pokemon got big. There was actually a turn-based card game of Mortal Kombat.
What?
And
What?
yeah,
I didn't know
and
this. Wow.
Yeah, so I got turned on to these. I found them at one of the drugstores and just started buying a ton of them. And every time I went around town, and I loaded up. I bought like 2-3 starter decks, so I made sure I had all the cards I could. And every time I go anywhere that I found them, I picked up like a dozen packs, and I had me like a pencil case. You remember those crayon boxes, the plastic gimmicks? I had one of those full of like all the Mortal Kombat cards, and I was teaching all my friends to play, and I got nasty with that. So to have this be a thing at 35 years old with my face on it, not on just one, but on two.
Yeah, he's magic.
Oh my God. Because like I said, dude, I've been a card collector my entire life because I was a comic kid, played all this stuff, and to actually have a game. I'm going to go ahead and put everybody over for a second, man, because like to be involved in something like Indy Supercard, where there are so many names in this deck, so many, even just the test deck that Joe sent me, just all these names that are involved here, and they're all incredible people. They're all incredible talent. They've all got so many like accolades to their credit, and to be counted amongst them. And to find out that I've got some accolades too, from what people have been telling me. I don't know. I don't pay attention.
That's what I hear. I hear accolades.
He's got a few. He's got a few.
So I'm just like, to be counted amongst the mighty that are in this like game in this project, I feel mighty honored and privileged to be able to do this sort of thing, man. Because this is like one of those bucket list items you never imagine you'd do when you sign up for wrestling school. You know what I mean?
Man, that right there, that is exactly why I want to do this. Is because of every word that you just said. If I can make more people feel that way, that are wrestlers, and then give people at home the sense that they're like closer to you guys, like that's my job. If I ever plan to call myself a real promoter, which maybe one day if I work hard enough, that's my only job, is to make sure that people walk away from our shows with a lasting impression of you. And now they've got your moves. They know what they're called. Thank you for summing that up so well and making me feel so great about it. Thank you.
Nah, don't thank me, dude. I'm thanking you, and I appreciate what you're doing for, my sport and my industry. I'll say our sport and our industry, but I know just being a performer, being involved in this project, dude, this is like something a lot of us have grown up on and dreamed about, is to be able to be a part of something like this. Because card games of this nature were a big deal growing up, people my age range, and especially all the cats even younger than myself. I'm a little older, it is what it is. But even the cats that are just a bit younger than me, because we had like I said, I had the Mortal Kombat, we had the Magic, we had the D&D, and then there was and then there was the Pokemon and all the stuff that came from that. So to have something like this with my peers, people of my industry, and to be counted amongst the mighty is pretty fucking incredible.
I mean, when you look at all of the names that are involved with this game, it's pretty impressive. We talked a little bit about it earlier. You had the Gymnasties, who were tremendous. Casey Dillon, which, oh, by the way, the images on her card, freaking intimidating. Those are great photos.
Yeah.
I want to see that, man, because Casey's one of my best pals, dude. That's incredible.
Casey is awesome. She is great.
And I gotta take just a second, and I want to say that a lot of those names that you listed, the only reason that we have those cards of those people is because of Boot and Heel. If you guys are not familiar with Boot and Heel, Max, I know you are definitely familiar with Boot and Heel because you were one of the first people that was mentioned when just started working on the Boot and Heel set. He has gone. David from Boot and Heel has gone so far as way to help build it and to help us market this, and to go so far as to get an entire set of cards for his group of talent. I just really wanted to say thank you to David and everyone that is part of this because of the Boot and Heel set, which you can totally go pre-order it right now. We're shipping them out literally at the end of this week. We will be shipping out all of the Boot and Heel orders. So go get them at bootandheel.com.
By the way, I did find the generic jobber card, and wow, that's a great card.
Again, yeah, Sonny is the man for totally being down for that. I was like, dude, I literally said, grab your absolute worst gym clothes, go stand in your backyard, and make it as terrible as humanly possible.
I love it. The excessive rope break.
That is incredible. Yeah. I'll go ahead and I definitely want to tie on to what you were just saying about Boot and Heel, man, because I know I met David about a year or so ago at VCW in Norfolk, and he made a mighty impression on me, and just his love and passion for this industry and what he can do for people is just incredible. And he's one of those stand-up guys that he really believes in our industry and trying to help make it bigger, better, just stronger. Just he's all about cohesion, and he really does a great job of promoting and getting people out there and being able to put them in the best possible light they can. I personally feel proud to be a part of that roster, man. I've got him. I've got a link to Boot and Heel on my webpage. Anybody looks. But, dude, it's like even David, like I didn't even talk to him about this whole putting me in the card set deal. And it's kind of fun because my finish on the Boot and Heel card is way different than the Battle Royal card, because he called my finish Unhinged. What's really fun about Unhinged is I have a history with Unhinged because I used to play in a band back in Tidewater, Virginia, for 2 years called Unhinged. Back in 2005 to 2007, signed to a record deal, toured the country for a little bit.
I did my research.
So, that made me feel especially good because I was like, man, wow. And if I may, Mike Martin, he's no longer with us, had a heart attack a couple years ago, guitar player, really good friend, huge supporter of Mad Max, huge supporter of pro wrestling. Man, this card goes out to him, dude. That's just stellar.
Oh man, I'm so glad that I wasn't sure if you were going to pick up on that because I just kind of I'm a huge metalhead for my whole life forever.
You're the man, dude.
The second I was like, oh, okay, all right, yeah, cool, yeah, that's definitely got to go on there. You know what I mean? And I wasn't gonna do two of the same thing. That's what I want people to know is like if you're part of a set for like we just did a set for GIPW down in Georgia, and you know what I mean. That does not disqualify you from being in another set. Last time I checked, you don't only do 2 moves. We can figure out some other ones.
Wait, there's more than 2 moves?
Well, it's kind of wrestler does 5. Oh no.
What was kind of neat is I've got one more hit point on my boot and heel card than I do on my Battle Royal card, but my finisher, the Unhinge, is 3 points stronger than my Headbanger's Ball on the Battle Royal card. So that's pretty neat. I mean, it balances itself out quite nicely. There's like perks to having both. So if you're buying the game, which I highly recommend you do, make sure you get both because Max is diverse, daddy.
Oh yeah, and honestly, that's another thing that I wanted to say. In our tournament play, you can have 3 of every wrestler card in your deck. So even if you grab the boot and heel set, you know what I mean? Support boot and heel, of course. But say you needed an extra Maxx Morrison and you see, oh man, he's on the bill for this show. I should probably go see if he has any cards.
There you go.
Maybe he'll have the Battle Royal ones too. I wanted to start selling tickets because there's going to be some people who are like, man, I can't go sit for 5 hours and do an entire wrestling show. But there's going to be like 10 guys I need cards from. All right, we're doing this show. Let's go.
Yeah, but if a wrestling show is going 5 hours, nobody wants to sit through that anyway.
That's a long
Fair
show.
That's 2 hours too long, man.
Well, I equate the drive there, drive home. I look at it like when I go to work. I take when I go to work at my shoot job. I start work the second I get up in the morning. If I got to get up to an alarm, that's when the clock starts ticking.
My man, I love that. Hey, cheers to you, dude.
Thank you.
I'm gonna take one from Stone Cold. Take a swig for the working man.
Hey, how about that?
All right.
So I'm looking through and I'm getting myself familiar because here's the deal. Printing the cards that I see here, let me ask you. Customer calls you, says, hey, I want to get a set. They order from the website and this is at, I want to make sure I got it right, becometheace.com. And there's actually a link right there on becometheace.com to place your pre-order. Are you printing this on demand? Do you have a stock in order or in place that you'll just send it to them?
Oh no, actually, what we do is we order each card in bulk.
Okay.
And a portion of the card is always sent out to the wrestler, no matter what. Okay. That is the biggest deal. So we do have all of the Ace Series 1 cards. Unfortunately, all of our boxes are stuck in absolute shipping hell.
Oh, lovely.
We've been waiting on them for about 2 weeks now. And that has not been fun. But the actual cards are sitting, I have a wall of boxes sitting next to me right now that is probably a good 3 feet high and 5 feet wide. But that's literally every card that has been printed so far. We have a bunch that still have to get shipped out to the wrestlers. And then I'm probably going to put out an email tomorrow just saying, the cards are here. If you don't care that much about the box, just send me an email back and we'll send them to you right now. I'll throw some extra stuff in there because you're nice. You know what I mean? It's been fun.
That's incredible. I know I'm excited because I also pre-ordered the special edition pack. I'm actually really stoked to get my hands on these things so I can teach all my family and friends how to play this thing and learn how to do it with me, so we can actually get this ball rolling out and try to get everybody I know good at this. You realize that you really don't realize what you done, Joe, is you and your pals done put something together that we're going to actually have something to do in the locker room waiting to get out the curtain.
Right.
You know that, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna be sitting in the locker room farting with this thing, playing matches, be like, oh, I gotta go wrestle. Fuck, I gotta go put these down and take a break. Now I gotta go clock in. Dang right.
That's awesome, man. I super hope so.
I can see Morrison doing like kid coming up to him with a card saying, "I'm not autographing it until you have all of them."
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Like, I won't autograph that card until you have the complete set.
Or have him out there with, say, Ethan gets a card, maybe, if he's nice, and Max could just, tear his card in half and say, you don't want that card, you want this one, and then hand him his.
Or I could just take Ethan's card, stick it down the backside of my britches in between my butt cheeks, and just beat the crap out of Ethan and take his title like I plan on doing whenever UCW gets back in town, because I have the Gold Rush advantage, and I've already called my shot, and I already told him I'm taking his belt from him, and I don't care what he says about it.
Damn. Okay. Well.
And that.
No arguments here.
This is why I sit behind the desk and I let them make the decisions.
Don't hold back. You might get an ulcer.
Why do you think I don't hold back, man? I don't like ulcers.
That's one of the reasons we love you, Max, because you don't hold back.
I'm glad you guys appreciate me more than a lot of other people do, because they just look at me and be like, you crazy. It's like, well, yeah, that's what you're paying me for, right?
Right. I mean,
and that's how you stand out from the crowd of other wrestlers and get yourself over.
It's not fancy Maxx Morrison.
Right.
Right.
It's not the savant. This is the mad one himself. That's why we call him these names, okay?
It's not PC Maxx Morrison.
Oh, God, sunglasses.
Could you imagine that? Karen Maxx Morrison.
Oh, Jesus. I have for PC, I have an acronym for that, but I don't think it's appropriate for this, because I've already hit my 2F limit, and I'm sorry. So I can't wait. I can't cash any more in.
Well, that's okay.
All right. Stan will forgive you.
Well, I mean, I don't have a bleep button for this show. When we're on BeyondRingside.com, we do, but when we're on the website, we're on the C2C site, we don't.
So on our show, you can say "fuck" all you want.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Way to call your shot,
still gonna try.
I mean, like, I'm not gonna, but thanks for the info.
Yeah, no.
I know.
I mean, I'm still gonna keep it fucking cool and whatnot, but.
Son of a bitch.
Now Stan is starting to pull out what little hair he has left.
Right, and it ain't much.
Come on, Homer, you got 3 hairs left, man. You gotta keep them.
He's growing out the front, so by the time we do another show, he can slick it all back. When the wrestlers come up and start messing with him, it all like flails forward.
So this thing was full when we started.
That's just a meaning that you have to go get another one. That's how that works.
You realize you're my 3rd show today, right?
Oh, wow. Wow. You don't get paid by the hour, do you?
I saw you on with O'Neill doing something.
Oh yeah, me and Jugs. Yeah, we were just having a grand old time because I'm toying around with this idea of doing my own like Facebook live show. It's called Social Disturbancing with Mad Max, and it's yeah, I just like to get on and tool around because we ain't wrestling, and I don't necessarily like talking about wrestling all the time, so I just get on there and shoot the breeze and get some things off my chest. And if anybody wants to come on and talk to me, we just talk and BS and have ourselves a good time. Because apparently, we got like 500 some odd views between me and Jugs for an hour and a half show for the first time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I put out an announcement earlier today. I had Phil Brown and Rudy Boy Gonzalez from Texas.
Oh, Rudy Boy.
Yeah, Rudy chimed in to see what I had going on. So I was like, all right, my man.
Rudy is a great dude, man. He is one of those people that you can literally learn everything from if you just sit there and listen to him enough.
Rudy's very cool. I was fortunate enough to do a camp with him where he was at in a couple years ago at the Monster Factory, and he looked at me and he was like, "Oh, you're one of Wayne's kids." And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "That's one of Cue Ball's boys." He goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "Okay, I know who you are. I've seen you in your tag team. You're fine. Just keep doing what you're doing."
Carmichael.
Oh, dude, Uncle Q. I miss Uncle Q, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I drank his ass under the table. So, can I tell this story real quick?
Sure.
Oh my God! So a couple years ago, there was a whole bunch of us because every year for like a couple years, him and Damian Wayne would do this camp in Beulahville, North Carolina, out in the middle of buttfuck nowhere, and they would, and tons of people would sign up, and I knew a bunch of people, but I didn't know a whole bunch of people, and it was like a 3-day affair. The first day, and Q's cool. He let us crash at his pad, and it was right down the street from where we were training, where he had his ring. So the first day, you lock up, they matched you up, and he was like, "All right, I like impressions. I'll do my cue ball impression." Like, "All right, so you and you, we're gonna wrestle for the first day, and you're gonna go through everything, and you're gonna do it a lot, and then we're going to go back to my house. My wife's going to cook us dinner, and we'll have fun. And then the next day, you're going to fucking work, and we're going to do a bunch of stuff, and then we're going to party, and then promos on Sunday."
Good God, that's a spot-on cue ball.
Oh, Jesus. I love me some cue ball, dude. So we did the first day, and I worked with Humek. He's like this Incan warrior from Chicago. He's incredible. Joe, love that kid. And big guy. It was fun. If I could wrestle him now, I think we'd have a way better match than we did back then. But we did the first day. It was all cool. So we go back to Q's house. He puts a bunch of us up, and we're all ribbing each other. I'm not gonna tell this part of the story, but let's just say that he smelled some of my air that made him stupid. That was kind of fun. And then, the next day, we do the whole thing, and he's like, "All right, time to party. We got all these pizzas. I've got cases of beer and 5 gallons of White Lightning. Any of you pussies can drink me under the table, you'll have my respect." So, of course, Wayne looks at me. I look at Q, and I goes, "Bet."
Oh, no.
Let's go. And, dude, I drank so much beer. Me and Q went shot for shot on this White Lightning the whole night. And I got pictures of us together, and we both look wasted. It's fun. I'll find those and send them to you. But then it's we all go back to his house that night, and me and a few other people are pulling ribs on each other all night long. Well, me and Q, we look at each other, it's "I don't feel too good. I'm going to bed." Well, I ended up, me and this referee from Portsmouth, Dustin Pruitt, still to this day one of the best referees in the business. Me and him stayed up until 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning just having a passionate-ass conversation about some pro wrestling. We got in each other's faces. Somebody thought we were scrapping. And he pulled his part. I was like, "Nah, dude, all y'all bitches are sleeping. We're talking." And that's when I went to go sleep in my car because I knew as many ribs as I pulled that weekend, nobody was going to get me. But I wake up the next morning and I hear, "Oh, Q woke up and he yacked all over his own bathroom." I was like, "Amateur." But the funny thing was that Sunday, woke up, went and cut promos. "All right, here's cutting promos. Anybody? And of course me, because I'm the star pupil, because I'm Wayne's kid. He goes, "Max, cut your promo." And I'm hungover as shit. So I get up there and I cut my promo because I'm like, "Dude, whatever, get it over with. Set the bar. Let's do it. It's going to be mighty low, so you guys ain't got to jump that high." So I went in there, cut, and everybody looks at me and goes, even Damien, my trainer, he looks at me and goes, "God damn, kid, you're pretty good hungover." I was like, "Why do you think I do this shit?"
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, that was fun.
One of these days there's going to be a documentary of Mad Maxx Morrison, and you're going to actually have someone help you to reenact these stories.
Oh, do you do a Dark Side of the Ring style where everything's like all kind of shaded out and
it's all shadowed?
Yeah.
All right, let me add that to my bucket list. Like as we're talking, Dark Side of the Ring. Who would play me though? Like that's a good question. Who would play me in Dark Side of the Ring?
Whoever it is has to have like an epic beard.
Probably Tommaso Ciampa. As much I get compared and mistaken for that motherfucker.
No, you ready? You ready? I got it. It's going to be somebody we don't even know yet because you're going to have such a long, prosperous career that it's going to be somebody who's still a kid right now. Oh. So we won't even know.
Man, I hope my career doesn't last that long. I'm joking.
Some wide-eyed really kid will get this opportunity he's been waiting for.
That's great.
Don't take my cynicism wrong. It's all coming from a humble place.
Oh no, I'm right there with you. I totally understand.
And we'll all have a blurb on there. It'll be like, this one time on a podcast when he was talking about a game.
Seriously, you three guys have enough stories with me. Jesus.
We have a few.
Dude, I'm surprised I made it out of Orange County alive.
I mean, you picked the one county in Virginia that
of all the
people
other
can't
pig
spell.
farmers when that one lady slapped you.
Oh,
because they didn't know what was going on.
I almost spat out my beer. Thanks, Frank. Dude, she was like, "Did you just call me a hot pig?" I was like, "Yeah, I did."
Because she brought that thing from South Alabama before she slapped you. Like that hand traveled a good distance.
Dude, she hit me with the Alabama jam, dude. I was like, man, I'm in love.
Sometimes that's all it takes.
Anyway.
But the best part of selling that off was the fact that as I said, no one around knew it was happening. So you had the real look of like, holy shit, from all those other people. Like, what just happened?
Well, it's like the best part is it's like I had this idea and I handed you guys the camera and you followed me. You just happened to blind trust me. It was like, well, whatever he gets into, we're going to film it.
Well, that's the
we
deal,
got enough people here to keep people back.
We just want to be there when it happens. If we feel that it's going to cause some kind of notoriety, why the hell not?
And the best part was my son was the cameraman.
Not like that.
Just like, this rocks.
Not like that stupid NASCAR driver from Dinwiddie.
Oh.
Cole liked you. He was a fan.
Dude, like seriously, Cole was fun. He was a good sport because you guys know, I was just walking around. I was going live. I was just spitting game, just BSing around. Because I'd worked in Maryland the night before. I was doing something for Ellsworth, and I came back. Oh, that was the night that Mick Foley came out for the save. He came out and saved me in my match. And then I rolled out to Dinwiddie, and I just was hungover and talking crap. And I was talking crap about NASCAR because I think NASCAR is stupid, and I stand by it, and I've always felt that way. And I saw the car, and I met the kid, and I said a bunch of stuff. And then Mr. DeVore was like, "Oh, so let's set something up." And I was like, "You better not." And he goes, "You bet I will." And that's when I had a problem with the NASCAR kid in the ring because I told him don't do it, and he did it anyway. So I didn't want to give it to him easy.
Well, what has to happen next is we got to get you to the track.
What track?
His racetrack.
I want to get him on foot track.
Well, one step at a time. Got to walk before you can run.
No. Or you could just turn left and keep going straight until you run into a wall and burn and just.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think that people were supposed to be in control of 2,000-pound pieces of machinery. That's just my opinion. I know quite a few people. A solid amount of them, it's a little iffy.
Driving isn't always a strong suit.
Hey, it's not one of my strong suits. I'm not gonna lie. It ain't my favorite thing to do.
Not gonna lie, dude. When I saw his car up close, dude, I probably could have picked that thing up and sneezed. It would have been fine. Like, it looked like it had no... Dude, this thing didn't even have lights on it. They were decals on the frame. It's like, are you kidding me? You're driving a car without lights or windows? No wonder you all crash or fucking idiots.
Wow.
Oh, I told that to his... Anyway, I digress.
So
that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play?
I don't know. Is there a draft in here?
I'm hearing a slight whistle.
the cool night air. It's a chill.
Chill or cold steel.
So,
I love the smell of gunpowder in the morning.
Or at Ford's Theater. One or the other.
There you go.
It's a really weird place for us to get stuck.
Yeah,
Like,
really. We just found ourselves at Lincoln. Okay.
Hey, yucking it up like it's 1865. Like, what?
Mayday, mayday!
Well.
Look, it's a rabbit hole and we're going down.
Oh, yeah.
We are infamous for it, so. There's tracks, and then there's our show.
Yeah. No, well, I mean, somebody's got to cut a new one once in a while, right?
Yeah, exactly. See? You got to set a new standard. You just got to go a different direction and see what happens.
Yeah. And Stan enjoys the shows I'm not on because he can actually keep a focus. And, when I just come on and I start talking and then we have somebody we're interviewing and it's like, oh, yeah, then I ask the question and it's like, wait a minute, where are we going?
There's only been a couple times where we asked somebody to name their favorite fish. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, striped bass. I'm from like New England / the Jersey Shore. It's got to be a striped bass.
Oh,
if you gotta. I mean, if you needed an answer,
Stan.
Got it.
Damn!
You didn't think I was prepared.
I didn't see that coming. All right, Max, what's your favorite fish? Max isn't playing our reindeer game. Oh, he's muted. You hit the mute button there, Maxie.
Oh, no.
Can you hear me?
Talking.
Yeah, there he is. I can see his...
Ah, there I am!
He's alive!
I was wondering what happened. I thought y'all shut me up, man. I thought I was being censored.
He's in there cussing at us.
This is against my constitutional right. I was about to give y'all a hard time.
So, Max, your favorite fish, sir?
Tuna, because it's delicious.
Tuna. Well, there
Fair
you go.
answer.
I love me some like the reddest tuna steak, and I love it as rare as I can get it, dude.
Well,
Ain't
all
nothing
right.
wrong with that.
Dude, I will tell you what. If you guys have not invested in a Ninja Foodie grill yet, you ought to, because those things bang so hard.
We just actually got one here. We just got one here about a month ago. We haven't used it yet, though.
Ah, dude, I use mine every day. I bought mine as a anniversary gift to myself. Because
happy anniversary.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And look, my wife's vegan. She can't eat all the meat and stuff, and I can't really cross-contaminate, which is kind of weird. I have my own feelings about that, but I'm not going to go X-rated.
Jesus.
The good thing is I bought her an air fryer, and I bought me the grill version, and I eat the grill. I put all the meats on the grill. We do all the veggies and the potatoes in the air fryer. It all works out. Dude, this thing's incredible. I've been since this COVID thing's been going on, because I used to go. You remember Jimmy Flame?
Of course.
Oh, Mr. Jimmy Flame, one of my best pals ever. Love and hate that sumbit. And every Wednesday we go out to a place out here in Maryland, go get us some wings. Well, ever since he can do that, I make them at home in the air fryer, and they are incredible.
Of course, you're
That
talking
sounds
about
pretty good.
the former UCW Tag Team Champion Jimmy Flame, and then of course former UCW Tag Team Champion.
First ever UCW Tag Team Champion. You better put some respect on that name.
Oh, damn. And longest reigning.
And current Gold Rush
That's
champion.
right.
That's right.
That's, yeah.
See?
So do you hear the lack of argument with that list of awesomeness?
Yeah. We're not gonna.
That's a very proud silence I'm hearing.
Oh, it is
no,
actually.
I'm usually the one in the argument that goes, yeah.
Ah, man, that. I believe you just dropped the mic, but like didn't because it's expensive and you respect the people that pay for mics. So, like,
I can't drop my mic because it's tied to a boom. It just kind of stays still.
oh, you got one of those fancy pants guys? Those are nice.
Dude, this thing's incredible, and I can double fist beers all day and keep running my mouth.
Nothing wrong with that.
Well, I also like, dude. So I did this show earlier with the whole idea of like having fancy pants photography because I've got like a camera up here, and I got the fancy mic. I got the black background, which I got a banner with my face on it coming, which is going to be incredible when this thing really gets going. Yeah, so I'm just like trying to up production and stuff, man. So I'm just like sitting here, man. If I could just turn the camera, you could see this like crazy lamp I have with like all this reflector stuff on it. I don't know where I'm going with this, but all I know is I was really trying to make like a very good impression, but you guys are doing an audio podcast, so your people can't see the sweetness of this.
No, they don't get the
right here.
They don't get to see the ominous black background behind you, which is a little odd. I'm just waiting on like, the Predator or some other scary creature to come from behind you and grab you by your head.
Well, we're all friends. That's why they don't come grab me from behind. All they do is say, dude, like seriously, I will show you who I got. Because you know me, I'm Mr. Horror Guy. By the way, Death Board is finished. It'll be out June or July. Whenever we get a premiere, you'll get a DVD.
Nice.
I got this guy.
Oh, it's one of the critters.
Yeah, it's a crate. I got my own crate.
Dude.
That is awesome.
His name is Lars.
His name is Lars.
Rub his tummy, make him happy.
I love Lars. He's awesome. And then I got come on. I got Chucky chilling over here too, man. It's he done lost half his face. He's awesome.
Ah. What the hell happened to that man's face?
That's right. I'm bad too, Chucky.
Wow.
Anyway.
So how did Deathboard get started? Because I've seen you posting on Facebook and a little bit on Twitter about it. How did you get involved with Deathboard?
It's actually a really good story. So Brad Twigg, he runs this company, Fuzzy Monkey Productions. He's done for the last 6 years, he's had his finger on the pulse of who's dicking around on the microphone.
Whoever's microphone is attached to their keyboard.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, my bad. My desk is a little messed up right now. I was literally telling somebody, hey, I can't listen to a voice message right now. I am currently on a podcast with awesome people.
That's what she said. Anyway, so Brad Twigg's been doing this stuff for 6-7 years now, and I had a pal of mine back home in Virginia Beach that told me about him because he used to go to cons. And then when I moved up to Maryland and I started hanging out with Jimmy Flame, he was like, dude, you got to get in touch with Brad Twigg, blah, 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 because Jimmy Flame did Wrestle Massacre.
Yeah.
And, and he got both his arms ripped off and got beaten with them. It was incredible. That made me really happy. And, I ordered I ordered a DVD, and I just flat out texted Brad on Instagram. Never met him. I cold called him on Instagram and was like, yo, dude, I'm looking forward to seeing this DVD. Your pal's one of my pals back home. You work with Jimmy Flame. He's one of my pals. And, so when are you sending me my stuff? And he, we went back and forth a little bit. And then we just happened to get into a conversation. I goes, after I watched the movie, I text him back and goes, "Yo, dude, so this movie was incredible, and so many of my friends are in it. If you need another wrestler to kill on screen, give me a holler because I'll be your Huckleberry all day long. Bet." And a couple months later, I got a text. "I'm doing this Ouija board movie. I think you'd be great for a part. What do you think?" And I was like, "Dude, of course I'm down." Didn't think anything of it because I've never done this stuff before. And then 2 months after that, I got a script. And, dude, that was so much fun. That was a lot of fun because that also led to some really cool relationships I have now with some really cool people. And then I started working on this other movie with Brad called Shriek Show, which is like Creep Show, but it's circus based. It's a circus anthology movie. It should be out like Halloween next year. And then that was the start of a beautiful relationship because I'm supposed to be doing another movie with Brad next year too, where I got offered the lead, and I'll totally tell you guys later when I'm allowed to.
Nice.
Yeah, so things, I guess I don't suck on screen. So
well, I guess
good.
not.
That's I was worried about that, but when I got the text like a week. You guys are getting the exclusive scoop.
Hey!
I got the text like a week or two ago. It was like, "Hey, how'd you like to do this? It's probably be like next year." And I'm like, honored. You bet. So obviously, I'm not doing too bad. I think that's cool. So I started off as fucking nobody, and now I'm still nobody, but I'm doing movies.
No, I would say you've upgraded to a solid, hey, it's that guy. That's a huge upgrade.
I'll live with that guy.
Yeah,
you're like,
you have
"Hey, I seen that guy," or "Hey, that guy bought me a beer."
Hey, that guy looks like Tommaso Ciampa.
Oh, fuck you, dude. Seriously. So I'm backstage at E trying to figure out where I'm supposed to go, and this one lady, I goes, "Hey, where am I supposed to go?" And she goes, "Oh, are you talent?" And I goes, "Yeah." And she goes, "Are you Tommaso Ciampa?" And I'm like,
"No, but you're fired."
I should have said yes and see what it did for me.
Yeah, they told me I'm doing the run-in.
Because obviously she didn't know.
That's too funny.
Yeah, and Vince sent me for you to find my check.
Yes.
Right.
Apparently you had several.
Mine's framed on the wall.
Oh, dude, yeah. Yeah, that's cool as hell, man. I can't even imagine.
Yeah, dude. That was a wild weekend, dude, because I got to go back home to Virginia Beach. I saw some friends play. I went to a funeral, which I wasn't like super stoked on, but I did get to reconnect with some people. And then the next night, I played a gig because I'm a musician by trade, have been for so long. I got to play a gig, and then I went straight to Philadelphia to go do Elimination Chamber, and I went to Raw in DC, and then went back home. So I had a nice loop. It was fun.
That's awesome, man.
Now, granted, I can't ask you to spill the beans on all of your inner workings, but what is that experience like? You get the call, "Hey, we got an opportunity for you." I mean, how quick do you get that opportunity to bounce up and get something moving?
I can totally be like completely honest with you, but I'll keep it pretty vague and whatnot. But I've been working for somebody who used to work there, and they noticed my work and noticed what I've been putting into it, and was like, "Hey, I've got some connections, and I feel like you'd be perfect for this sort of stuff. So when I get a phone call, I'll be down to throw your name out that way." And I was like, "Cool, appreciate it. See you when I believe it." And then I show up to work one night, and it's like, "Hey, did you get that email yet?" And I goes, "What email?" He goes, "Oh, just wait." So then I work my match.
Nicely sprinkled in, sir.
That's very, very Rick Sanchez of you.
That must have been spam.
No, that's actually Ghost Ale by Dewclaw Brewing Company out of something, Maryland.
Bel Air?
Somewhere.
Yeah, dude. I know where their brewery is. It's actually pretty good beer.
Oh, dude, I love Duke Law. There's a few breweries. I was really bummed when the one in Arundel Mills closed down. Anyway, yeah. So I like worked this match, and he was like, "Yo, so did you get that email?" He goes, "What email?" He goes, "Just check your mail." And I go check it out, and he goes, "All right, invitation, 2 days worth of work." And I'm like, "Holy shit!"
What?
And then I did all the things I had to. I made everything happen, and then I bought me a nice suit, and I went to work.
So, obviously, from your perspective, the goal is to go as high as you possibly can. Make as much money as you possibly can before you decide to finally hang it up. Do you have a preference? Like, if you got a call from Jacksonville or a call from Stanford, does it matter?
Really doesn't matter. Like, truthfully, dude, like, everybody in this business is all about making money and stuff. For me,
Right.
I have a good job. I kind of don't care about the money. I want to make money to help kind of make up for some of this stuff that I'm, spending money, to pump out for my fans and to be able to get around and do stuff. Because I'm one of those guys, even when I was in music, I got to the point where I got to the point where the business paid for itself. So I'm trying to do that with wrestling too, and I'm almost there. So where it doesn't have to come out of pocket, the business pays for itself. It's going to even out at the end of the day. But when I first started training, and I still believe this today, I have no end game. I started pro wrestling when I was 30. I have no end game. I have no place I need to be. I have no goals as far as time frames. I have nothing. Any of you guys familiar with Bruce Lee's philosophy on things?
Not really. I'm a fan of the work, but not really familiar with his philosophies.
So I had a roommate loan me a book like a couple years ago when I was in a hard time, and I just thumbed through it, and there were some things that really resonated with me. And one thing is that the whole deal with Bruce Lee is like he believed in the philosophy that you just need to go with the flow of things, whether you have destination or not. It doesn't matter because you're not always in control of everything that happens to you.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, say metaphorically, throw a pebble in the still water, you're going to get ripples. So that's like a disturbance. But at the same time, it doesn't have to disturb because all you have to do is just follow those ripples out to wherever it leads you and just see where it goes and what you can do with it. So as long as you go with the flow of things and you make the best of what you're given and do with it, you're able to, come out on top somehow as long as you persevere and use some ingenuity. And I've tried to exhibit that up to this point, and that's just what I'm doing. That's what I did try, at least I had to do, like everything I do, is just make the best out of everything. Cause I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm just making my way through, dog. And pro wrestling's no different. I started on this journey, and where I'm at right now is pretty cool. And I've been given a lot of really cool opportunities, and I've done really well at them. I've built a really good reputation, and that's just because I've tried everything and tried my best at it. So, and I plan on keep on doing that. And wherever it takes me is wherever I'm going to go.
One of the things one of the things we try to do a lot here with our show is to make it as fan friendly as possible, to go through as much of the ins and outs as we can, but we also try to, I don't want to say protect it, but respect it, I think is the better way of looking at it. Because there's a lot of the ins and outs that you guys go through on a day-to-day that people don't really need to know. And then there's the stuff that happens when you're at a show and you're getting ready to get in the proper mindset and make sure you've got things rolling, that I think people, they all instantly think this guy wants to be WWE or NXT or AEW. He wants to work with Cody. Or then you've got guys that are like, F those guys. I want to go to New Japan, and that's the biggest climax for me. So to hear, I'll go where I go. I'll go where it takes me is actually kind of refreshing, because you hear a lot of people that try to pigeonhole themselves into this is the only end goal for me. This is the only place I want to end up.
Well, I mean, for me, I know I've like I said, I went to WWE and I got to like spend a couple days there and see the inner workings, and that was cool. And I don't feel like that might be the route for me. Mm-hmm. I'm down to see what everywhere else has to offer, because I know there's tons more places I'd like to go. Because I mean, I feel like I'm a unique cat. I feel like I'm a unique character. I'm not exactly your everyday wrestler either. So I don't know where I exactly will fit in, but I'm down to try out anything once. You know what I mean? So whatever comes my way or whatever opportunity I get myself into, I will try it on for size, and if it ain't a good fit, then I'll move on to the next one. That's just the Mad Max philosophy, man. You just try it on. If it don't work, keep on trucking, see what fits, and just enjoy the ride until you do.
Man, this is why we get along.
I was just about to say the same thing, actually. That this is what makes Max a go-to guy, and Max can attest to this. When we're at a show, the first person we go to with ideas is Max. Hey, Max, what do you think of this? Hey, Max, what do you want to do with this? Hey, Max, what do you think about working with Joe? Or what do you think about working with Jimmy and doing this? He is the guy we go to when we have new ideas.
I'm a pretty good filter, I think so.
I don't think there's enough of that in this industry.
It's really important. That's why I keep this dude standing next to me here all the time. He is the perfect filter. And you better not say that evil J word again.
Oh, you mean that jabroni Seidel?
Oh.
Did you say Seidel?
Them's fighting words around here. No, man, but that's literally like I have one of the absolute best filters to run all of my stupid stuff through. You have no idea how many times I have thought of the most absolute harebrained, insane crap, and everyone else was kind of like, "Yeah, man, that sounds cool. Ooh, we might be able to make that work." And I turn over to Cade, and he's just like, remember that time I'm about to slap you right now? And 10 times out of 10 he's right, so no arguments there.
Trust me, I got a ton of filters I sift through myself, man. It's if you ain't got that kind of support system, man, then you're doing something wrong, because not everybody's a genius by birth and trade. It just, you've got to filter your ideas through and whatnot. Because I know for me, dude, I feel like I got trained the right way. I mean, there's a wrong way to get trained. That's by getting trained by, I'm saying the word, not directed at Seidel. But you can learn from some 20-year jabroni that did nothing with his life, and they'll feed you a bunch of horse shit, and it's, you know, you'll end up going down whatever path you go through, but I can assure you it's not that good. I know for me, and I'm super thankful for it, that I got trained by one of the best in the business, I feel, and a lot of other people feel, through Damian Wayne. He basically taught me what to look out for, how to look out for things, how to get a keen eye for things, how to open my mind to things, and how to filter things out and whatnot, to know whether something's a good idea, a bad idea, how to follow my gut and all this stuff before I got out there. And that was only year 2 in the business. I'm like 5 years in now, but he trained me in that early.
Hold up. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. You said you're only 5 years in?
I just hit 5 years in March, dog.
Jesus.
What's wrong?
Okay, so here's the thing. Like, I am especially, and you've seen it, I've learned from you guys from the very beginning of UCW to now. I had no idea that you had only been in the business for that long. Zero idea. I thought it was more like 15 years or something crazy like that. I didn't. Well, of course. In my defense, Max. In my defense, I didn't know how old you were either.
I'm old as fuck, dog.
When you got it.
Right?
I'm one of the older cats on the card. It just is what it is. Thanks.
Well, I do mean
No,
it.
man,
I
I'm
mean it as
sorry,
a
but
compliment.
DDP was always one of my favorites, and he didn't start until he was a little older.
Well, Jimmy
That's
didn't start until he was 37.
That's one of my guys. Yeah, that's kind of what my trainer started when he was 30. That's why I felt there was no problem when I did at 30. It's like, all right, cool, and I'm learning from the right guy.
Yep, and that's why I always say it doesn't matter. It can happen when you've been doing it for a year. It can happen when you've been doing it for 20. Never stop trying as hard as you friggin' can.
Yeah.
Because it takes is one set of eyes to put that check in your hand.
I'm also going to pull the curtain back just a hair, just let y'all take like a minor peek. But at the same time, being an older guy, getting into this thing kind of late, it sure helps having personality and being a personality and being a character and having a character and being able to work a character to maintain some kind of longevity.
Oh, yeah, there's that infamous phrase that the Hardys let go, the bump card.
Right.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, man. It takes a toll. I will say I have been lucky enough to have been taught by Cade how to properly, you know what I mean, take my bumps and you know, if somebody decides that they're going to knock me out when I hit the ground, I don't break my neck. You know what I mean?
Oh, good. Don't do that.
No, but it's like doing it the 30 times that I have, and then having to imagine doing that every night,
right?
30 times. It's like I don't understand how half the people I know are still currently walking around, because I still am like, oh, once in a while.
Well, Max brings up a good point, and you mentioned it too, the bump card, right? So, Max, we're in Ashland, Virginia, and you and Porkchop are in the ring, and you guys go for a headbutt, and yet there it is. He's pointing to it right now on camera. You guys leveled each other, and you go down with what appeared to be a fractured orbital bone.
It was.
And I will never forget that. I'm on the outside, and I'm filming it, and I see it, and I'm like, oh, hell. And I think, actually, if you replay the video, you can hear me say, oh, shit.
It sounded like two pumpkins smashing together, dude.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And I thought
I was back at Gorilla when he came through the curtain, and that, yeah.
I remember thinking, how the hell did he get up from that?
Dude, I got up, and I got in the locker room, and I started cussing is what happened.
Oh yeah, your cussing started right past the black curtain.
Well, I mean, in Virginia,
held it together for the fans, and then you're like, crap.
Well, I held it together for the commission. Let's get that straight. Because I had blood pouring out of my nose, and somebody said, "Roll out of the ring," and I goes, "Tag," and covered up.
Yep.
And I'm like. Because I remember I blacked out for like a split second. I goes, motherfucker. And then once I got to the locker room, I goes, mother, louder. And went off. But on the bright side, I got a really cool picture of it because I got that Kratos looking photo of me all covered and beard all sprayed out.
Yo, can we put that on the Maxx Morrison version 3 card?
I'll send it to you, dog.
Yeah, dude. Nice.
There's a reason we call him the hardest head in professional wrestling. There is a legit reason for that.
I may get
lucky that Stan didn't pass out at ringside.
I may get knocked down, but I sure as hell get back up, dude.
As long as you're not getting knocked up, we're good.
That could be awesome.
Last time I checked, I ain't got the equipment for that, so it's all good.
All right.
my plumbing's a little different for that kind of thing.
So, guys, as we get ready to close out, I did want to, of course, go back through and replug both Max's website and of course, Indy Supercard. But you mentioned something, and I kind of wanted to get your take on it. You talked about the bump card, and Max was kind of like giving us that peek behind the curtain. In today's business, do you guys feel like that protecting the business has kind of taken a back seat to what can get you noticed? Oh, a dog has an answer for it.
Yeah, we got a dog. Looks like everybody's home from work.
Uh-huh.
Somebody get that man out of here.
What are you doing in my house? What are you doing on my computer? No.
Get off my daughter.
No.
Sorry.
No, man. I honestly have a really good
it?
answer for that question, though.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Dude, the evolution of what we need to be protecting has changed. There is such a huge shift. You see on every website, if you scroll through Squared Circle, you see so-and-so's doing this with whoever. Right. This guy's signing a contract, and oh, so-and-so got hurt doing this during this part of this match. There's a different level now. You have to make sure that everything that you put on social media, if you don't want the world to know it and break it down to every letter, you better not put it out there. The world cannot, you know what I mean? You need to make sure that a private life is your private life. Now more than ever, you protect yourself. And if that means that, okay, the world knows a little bit more of what happens behind that entrance, then that's one of those things that I think we all need to start to adapt to and understand a little better.
Yeah, I definitely would agree with you, because now we have TMZ. Like, wrestlers are stopped outside of airports by TMZ. Hey, I heard you and Vince had a meeting. You know what I mean? It's kind of crazy. What, 6 years ago, that never happened. 6 years.
No.
You know, but now, here we are in a business where Becky Lynch is pregnant, and she announces it on Monday Night Raw because some stooge, leaked it to TMZ beforehand, and of course now it's made the run on every single dirt sheet known to man. So that's where I see it, because everybody was in such a damn race to be first that nobody even cared to be right.
Yep. And that's one of those that's one of those moments where it's, now, do we protect? What is there to protect in that instance, though?
Right.
If she's pregnant, that's definitely, you know what I mean. There's definitely somebody's gonna figure that out eventually.
Right.
So now, I found out about that probably 6 hours before Raw started, as I'm sure 90% of the rest of the world did.
Right.
And it's like, okay, cool. Did it even matter? What was that really part of the quote unquote the game to begin with? Is that what we should be looking after? Or should we be looking after, like, okay, you know what I mean? AEW and WWE are going at it hardcore. So what's to stop Cody and Vince from making a couple of phone calls and going, hey, you want to make some money?
Right. Which I've always wondered, people, and of course, it's one of our co-hosts who's not here with us tonight. He would probably lose his mind, but I've always thought, if they really wanted to make money, why don't they just get together and make money? Why are we so worried about who's on top of what? Why don't they just go ahead and do it to make money?
Yeah, that's kind of what I've always wondered, and that's half the motivation for most of the stuff that I do is, like, it's not about me, it's about the people in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
I like if I'm part of an article or a news thing, or somebody's posting about me on Facebook, I screwed up. Yeah, I shouldn't be the topic of anything. I'm like super lucky and super blessed that you guys invited me on here, but I would gladly give up this spot right now for anyone who has stepped foot in my ring, and that's the way that it should be 100% of the time.
Mm-hmm. Max, where do you stand on this?
I'm part of that 10% that learned about her being pregnant the day after Raw because I didn't watch it.
Okay.
Because I don't watch a whole lot of modern wrestling these days. I've kind of gotten in the mode of reliving some action movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, I just watched Bloodsport last night for the first time in 20 years.
Oh, that's a great film.
Oh, yeah.
And this morning I drank Jim Beam in my coffee while watching Tombstone.
All right.
I'll be your Huckleberry.
Damn.
That's right.
Great film.
That's right.
You're drunk, sir.
Yeah,
You
so
won't hit me. That's why I have two for both of you.
But that's also why your character, your ability to speak to the fans is so good, because you go and you make sure that you have fun with what you're saying. You know what I mean? you treat it like it's part of your. You make it the things that you love about the things that you watch.
And that's a reason why I don't watch a lot of modern wrestling, is because I don't want it to bleed into what I believe in, and I don't want it to bleed into what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have kind of an idea of what I'd like to do, and I got guys of the past that I watched and got me up to this point, but to get me further, I don't feel wrestling is going to do it. So I watch other things that help get me there, if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense.
Well,
it does.
Well, and what I was going to say is when you come out, that is Mad Max. That is Maxx Morrison out there. And one thing I enjoy is the fact that you're out there as the character, an amped up version of yourself, and you're not trying to be somebody that we see on TV. Does that make sense? You're not going out to be that, hey, I am just another version of this guy you see on Monday or this guy you see on Wednesday.
Create a wrestler number 6.
Yeah, right. Default character.
Like, oh, that's Mad Max, and that's why you stick out, Ain't
gonna lie, dude. I listened to Tombstone this morning, and I was listening to the soundtrack, and I heard a couple sounds that I want to incorporate into a custom theme song for me, because I feel like where I'm going, that would be like fantastic. So if anybody listening does music, custom music, please hit me up. I have ideas.
I actually might be putting my studio back together at the house within the next couple of days. So, I'll let you know.
Do you have violins?
All right, so we might need to make a couple of phone calls.
I know some violin players, dog. Don't even sweat it.
All right, yeah. If all of my musical equipment from my heyday of playing back in New York and New Jersey still works, I'll see if we can hook something up.
Like I said, I can drum for days, dude. I'll come in and rock drums on tracks, but I have a vision.
That's what's up, man.
But that's it. Is I watch like so much stuff, and it's weird how little nuances and things about some of the weird things and weird shit. Like as you were telling your story about the business, I was reposting on Instagram a photo of Leatherface sticking a bitch on a hook. It was kind of nice.
Well, I've all right,
but
yeah, you just made it weird.
But the way it was shot was a work of art. So I'm like, all day, I'll totally share this. This is great. It's little things, and that's, if I could pass something on to other wrestlers right now and other performers and things like that, because I do feel like there's an art that's missing out of a lot of things I'm seeing, and I'm not saying I'm an expert by any means. I do what I do, and that's really all I have to go by. There's a lot in the world around you that will help you resonate with your audience and help you connect for them to actually give a fuck, as opposed to doing 1,000 flips or, DDTs on the apron, this flip there, 1,000 flips there, this stupid fucking thing here, that stupid fucking thing there. You can say a lot with your body without saying a single word, and I feel like a lot of that is missing in today's wrestling. And that's what I try to do. That's the kind of stuff, me personally, I try to pick up on, and that's what I'm trying to help contribute to the business, is just little nuances, little character things. Like, since I've been back in the ring the last couple of weeks, I've been over at Riot City. I've been keeping occupied, but I've also been wrestling the Invisible Man and putting my time in. It's helped me to really kind of tweak my style a bit, and which is really nice, because I've learned to take the things I've been able to watch over the last 3 months and apply it to my work, and now I can kind of see things a little differently. And it's I feel like it's going to be captivating on a different scale. And that's the kind of thing I feel is missing in wrestling is we have characters, and that's what wrestling needs. Wrestling needs characters. It doesn't so much need like wrestlers as much as it needs characters.
Yeah, and the good wrestlers that are out there now, some of them just need to find like the little tiny pieces of wood that cover up the screw holes from the new piece of furniture. It's that finishing stuff.
Yep.
Agreed.
I feel like there's and this has always been my thought is there is not to me there's no such thing as a bad performer. These are just people that have to find their spot and find their whatever that niche is. I've always felt that. It's one of the things that I enjoy about the creative process of professional wrestling in general, because helping somebody see, and I've seen this happen a few times with UCWs, helping somebody see that light turn on is amazing. It is the coolest thing when you see somebody and it clicks for them, and then they go out and they do what they have just busted their ass to do all their life, and there they are, and the people connect with it. It's just a whole nother level of cool.
When you're able to go out there and you have a story in mind and you're able to play that out with somebody else and the crowd bites onto it and is able to follow it along, there's really no better feeling than getting the payoff from the crowd to see that story through to the end. It's pretty unreal.
Yeah, I always felt that when we talk about stories, I always felt like we left some undone pieces with Max and his former partner Rock.
What can you do?
You know what? I mean, hey, I'm a big believer in never say never, and maybe we get to put those pieces together at another point, you know? Who knows?
Well, we're not toast and we're not feuding, so I mean, never say never.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, so that's what I love about what we do, and what I love about what you guys do specifically, because it's just so much fun.
This is gin, by the way.
Jeez, so we've upgraded. We've gone from Ghost Beer to all right. Let's just do some gin.
Like a quarter of a gallon of gin. Yeah.
It's after 12. It's after 10:30. It's
after 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Good.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and close this out here. First and foremost, guys, thank you so much for your time tonight. I really appreciate it. When I first talked to you guys about coming on, my thought process was, wow, we're going to talk about this game. We're going to talk to Max. It's been cool. We haven't talked to him in a bit. I had no idea it would go this length, and this is so cool that we've been able to uncover so many different things. And I got to tell you, Brian and Eddie are going to be really pissed that they missed this tonight.
Well, screw those guys. They suck.
Yeah.
I mean, I was gonna go the other direction and say, we can always run it back one of these days. But
I mean, we totally can. I'm open all day.
But screw them or whatever. I guess I don't know.
Oh no! I never said we were finished. We're just finished for the day. So
we'll bring you all on later and have all those kind of inside jokes. When somebody misses something and you're sitting there, ha ha ha.
Oh yeah,
hate when that happens. So let's start with Joe. Joe, tell us where can folks catch up with you on the web and on social media. Now I'm getting hit with the hiccups. Oh God.
Oh no. It's one of my biggest fears in life. I just want to throw this out there. Is like I've seen old articles of people who had the hiccups for like 10 years at a clip. That has always been like my biggest fear, and I don't know why. Irrational stuff. But anyway, if you want to check out anything I'm doing, follow me at Superjaw or Superjaw Pro on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of that fancy stuff. If you want to buy the card game, you can buy the Ace Series 1 box set at becometheace.com. Or if you want to get the other awesome starter set, you can go to bootandheel.com and get that one as well. I say get them both. They're both killer. Call Maxx Morrison and get 4 of his cards, because you're going to need to have 3 to play and then have 1 to get signed. So, I mean, you have to do that. there's going to be a whole list of names coming out of people that have gotten their cards already that I want people to talk to. So check our Facebook page out for that soon. And yeah, that's all right. I think I got it. We're good. I did it.
And, of course, we're going to be linking up becometheace.com on our website over at C2CRadioshow.com. You can probably find it right now. If you scroll on down towards the bottom, it says Proud Partners with, and we've got them listed. Go to the website and, hey, buy the cards. Mad Maxx Morrison, where do the fans catch up with you?
I have made it very plain and simple and easy for you peons to get in touch with me at www.madmaxmorrison.com, DDX.
Okay.
There's links to all my social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. It's all there. You can find links to Boot and Heel. You can find links to all the different companies I'm working for. You can find links to all the sponsors I'm working with. I have like 2 fitness supplement companies that just started partnering with me. I just started partnering with an energy drink company. You can find everything about the movies I'm in. And you can find my brand new store, shop.madmaxmorrison.com. And then there's also a link to my pro wrestling tees, which if you go on there right now, there's a Memorial Day sale going on, 20% off on all merch. If you use the discount code Memorial at checkout, get 20% off. Dude, summer's coming up. Get you some Mad Max tanks. I got one on right now. These things are the jam. You're going to love it.
Hey, sun's out, guns out for Mad Maxx Morrison, right?
Pow!
Boom! Look at that. Right there. I actually personally like the Headbanger shirt the best, the purple one. I think that one looks great.
That's a fun one. Have you seen the new Thomas the Tank Engine one?
Yes, I was just looking at that. The Choo Choo Street Fight. Chug's Street Fight. I dig that one, actually. That's really cool. Chug's the Street Fight.
If
how many chuggas before Choo Choo is an important question.
I work in 3s, dog. So you get chug, 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 choo choo.
All right.
Ho train.
I'll take it.
So, I told you earlier I worked for Grimm's Toy Show, right?
Yeah.
And don't be surprised you find a special appearance from Chug's the Street Fight Engine in that match.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Grimm's Toy Show is outstandingly entertaining for what they do. Those guys are awesome. So I do love what they do. And, of course, also Jeff Bravo works with them from time to time.
Oh, does he?
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, that's cool, dude. I love Jeffrey Bravo as much as I love having a hangnail. So be sure to check out Jeffrey Bravo. Brothel?
No, that's not it.
Brothel. I'd rather go to a brothel than Jeffrey Bravo.
Oh. I'm saving that soundbite. It's getting played at the next UCW show. All right, folks. Hey, that is going to do it for Corner to Corner Wrestling Radio. What an awesome night we've had joining us with Joe Edwards of Indy Supercard, Mad Maxx Morrison of UCW fame, of course, the Gold Rush Challenge winner, calling his shot on Ethan Cross. He did mention that. Don't think we didn't hear that. You can catch up with us here at C2C Radio Show on Twitter, C2CRadioshow.com for all your corner-to-corner needs. Rob, final thoughts, sir, before we head on out?
This was a fun show. This was awesome. Thank you all guys for coming on, and thanks for playing along. And we're going to have to bring you back on when we get the decks in our hands so we can actually play the game while the show goes on.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much for having us.
Of course. Rob can be found on...
It's always a pleasure.
Oh, of course. Rob can be found on Facebook at Rob Hefner and RDHUWP on the Instagram. You can catch up with me at Stan Grubb everywhere. Twitter, Corner to Corner. Yeah, everywhere. Whatever. Have a great night, everybody. Have a great week. Enjoy your Memorial Day, and we will see you next time right here on C2C Radio Show. We'll see you later.
Oh,